My name is Holly Amato, and today I have Corene Grillo, a powerhouse entrepreneur, connector of women, and the vibrant force behind Gem Society and multiple thriving businesses with me today on the Onward and Upward show. Corene empowers women to break free from societal molds and build lives aligned with their values. Thank you so much for joining me today, Corene.
Thank you for having me, Holly. I'm so happy to be here.
Me too. And I hope our audience is ready for this conversation, which I've really been looking forward to. But before we get started and we jump into that, I thought it would be fun. I have a fun little question to ask you. If you could look at your life and if your life had a theme word or phrase right now, what would it be?
Oh gosh, I would have to say where I'm at today, let it ride. I say that because I used to be in a place where I would wait to be invited to the table. And today, I've removed those barriers, societal norms, right, as you call them. And I no longer wait for that seat at the table to be invited. I encourage others to go out, to go after what they feel. I've learned a lot through my journey through feeling, and God leads my path. And I believe if we rush things too fast, the timing isn't right. So that God is my acronym for gut on demand. If you feel it, do it. If you feel like something's not right or the time's not right, just hold back and have that patience to do so. If it serves you, do it. Let things flow naturally without overstressing. And I think as women, we tend to try to do too much, and that's where we get stressed out. Sicknesses start to take over our bodies. So if we're not taking care of ourselves in that flow naturally, we're setting ourselves up where we're actually hindering ourselves. So by going on what we feel and doing things more naturally, and if somebody offers the help, then receive that help along the journey in your path.
That's huge. I love that. There's a lot in there, and I know we're going to hit a lot of those points as we get going. So let's go deep. We're going to get pretty deep into what you do as someone leading a movement that's rooted in sisterhood. And sisterhood is really near and dear to my heart. That word, just in and of itself, is absolutely amazing. And you are looking to promote healing and growth in people. So tell me what led you into this space and why you're so passionate about helping women find freedom.
Well, Holly, I have to admit, I was a girl in the past on her journey, and I didn't believe in sisterhood. I was one of those doubters. I was a jealous person. I was never really competitive in any sport, but I used to be the one on the other side watching all these women find success and go after their dreams, and I would say, that's so fake. Like, that's not even real. But again, God has a way of setting that intention and guiding us to the light. Throughout my journey of sisterhood, I found that it is real. Sisterhood is real. Yes, I have a sister, blood sister. It doesn't have to be blood related, but friends that are sisters, those sisters that become family. My mission was to create this safe community for women such as myself that fosters that growth, empowerment, and the mentorship along the way. Sisterhood, developing that sisterhood community where women are seen, they're celebrated, and I don't know, right? I was one of those doubters, and that was crappy. Like, that was not the best feeling. And so that's why it kind of goes along with that let it ride. If it feels good, keep doing it. And to me, sisterhood feels good, like connecting with women and helping and being that light for others that were maybe like myself, and pulling them up to make others see that we can do more together. You're not isolated. You're not alone. Those are some heavy barriers in my way that I had to get through. It doesn't seem like much compared to, what other people have experienced, domestic violence survivors, right? And hear me thinking, oh, sisterhood isn't real, right? But I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, like you mentioned, so hearing you talk about yourself in that light, how you were, I can't even imagine that because you're so opposite of that. You're like I can never imagine you having a jealous bone in your body, because all I see you doing is cheering for everybody. And also, if there's something that needs to be done, you jump in and you're like first in line to say, I'll help. You're giving, you're a philanthropist. I mean, legitimately, clearly you had a big epiphany, not a small one, because if that were true, which I believe you, like how you felt in the past, it's not like that's completely gone. And that doesn't just, I think faith in God is 100% how people can have those moments where they have that huge shift. But clearly you had a huge shift. Like, I don't know if there was an event that happened or if you just woke up one day and you were like, let's give this sisterhood thing a try. But I see you as just the complete opposite of somebody that would be jealous or not giving, like the opposite of that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I've overcome a lot, as I've said, where I created this space to replace jealousy and competition with collaboration, team effort. And if more of us are working hard together, we can get more done. Yeah, it was real, Holly. I found it through meeting people where they're at. God blessed me with an opportunity to be a gym teacher for kindergarten through sixth grade students at Macomb Montessori School. And he opened my eyes to leadership, real leadership. And the leader of the school trusted me. And I would say that was my breakthrough moment. When I walked into the school for the first time, I was accepted for me. Everyone was there with hands out. What do you need? What do you need? How can I help you? And I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to that in the workforce. I was used to getting hired in as a job and here you go. Here's your training materials. Figure it out. There wasn't a lot. I don't know if it's a society thing, but that's why I created Gem Society, because I think there's this need, this space for women such as myself that we have to grow together. I don't know. We're often growing up to be silenced, unsure, uncertain of our strengths, abilities. But I've found along the line, as I encourage people and then people encourage me, it's that give and take. So it's like, yeah, girl, go, keep going. And what do you need? And when you can meet people where they are at, you can accomplish so much more and your heart opens. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell us about Gem Society. Like, where do we find you? How do we join? Is it a membership? And what are the things that you actively do with your quote unquote tribe or sisterhood?
Well, we offer support. Well, it's in the grassroots stage right now. So right now we offer services, opportunities for healing through education, tools, mentorships, programs. Throughout my own sisterhood and developing and finding sisters across my path, I've met coaches, fitness coaches, mental health coaches, mindset coaches, everything. And these sisters that I've gotten to learn who they are, what they're about, and learn about their authentic self. It's going to be that almost referral network. So if a sister comes in to me and they're like, hey, I'm having a hard time. I feel like I can't do this. I really want to leave my corporate job, but I don't know how. I don't know where to get started. I don't know what to do. That's kind of where I come in, right? Like, I'm like, come on in, sister, get over here. Let me help you. And how I help them is by providing them. I've been so blessed to meet so many wonderful people that have so many blessings to bless everyone with, right? So I can set them up by getting to know people from their heart. Mm-hmm. So anyone that I refer is someone that I believe in. Mm-hmm. So if you're having a mindset coach, I'm going to know who to refer. And if you're a mom and you feel like, gosh, I love being a mom, but God, I really want to start a business too. And I feel like I want more because I've always had that yearning for more. And I would be like, hey, boom, Emily Jacobs, gotta talk to my girl, Emily, and let me give you her contact information. I'm going to hook you up and she's going to be the one. You have to work with her in her program and whatever that looks like where they figure out. But they're going to come to me first. And then I'm going to give them the tools wherever they're at on their level to help them. And that's where I'm building that trust, right? Anyone that comes to me for a referral, no, it's intentional because I'm a pretty good reader of people. And when I first met you, I knew from the start, you are a stand up woman. So that's kind of where my niche is at. I also have, again, grassroots stage, power of voice talk show. Right now, I'm seeking a platform, an in person platform with an audience. I need a stage. Whether it's in a coffee shop, whether it's in a place of business or standalone. I want to offer the community a safe space to amplify the local voices to light the path for community awareness. I don't need to be on NBC. I don't want to be on NBC, but I want to be in the community with the people. I want women to come to the table and be speakers. If they had just gotten a divorce, maybe my speakers for that program might be a woman recently divorced that needs to figure out, how am I going to live? And then that speaker is going to say, what was their journey? How did they find a home? Where did they go? And then maybe another speaker is going to talk about her children, maybe young children, how the children adapted, right?
Right.
And maybe another woman is going to speak to the audience about, how did she afford that single life? How was it for her?
Right.
Because I can guarantee those times you're feeling alone. So if I can open up the door and create those spaces in the community for other women or men, whoever, people in the community to join in that audience, just like a talk show on TV, but in the community.
Right.
That's my goal right now. Right now, I'm just kind of out in the community. I'll do lives. I'm looking for a location. Everybody wants to charge for a location.
Right.
I'm not there yet. I want my audience to come in for free. I don't want to have to charge for tickets.
Right.
I want to help the community, not just, there's got to be a better way. This is my way. I'm figuring it out. And I'm hoping with the help of the community, I can find this space. And I've had a lot of sisters coming to the plate and saying, hey, how about this? How about this? And I'm reaching out. I haven't gotten any responses yet, but I'm praying on it. God will send it my way when the timing is right, I'm not forcing it. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and offering what I can.
Okay, so that's a lot. I think you will find a space, and I have like my mind is like kind of like going right now on some thoughts on that. But as I'm listening to you talk, you're a connector. You're a connector of people who need a specific resource. And that is a huge talent and skill. And it's like, Facebook, the power of social media, we can put something out there. Hey, I need something, something. Does anyone have it? Or can anyone answer this question? But doing it on a larger scale and being able to bring people together, the sisterhood. And it's interesting because obviously I'm a real estate agent. And I have a group of realtors. There's probably 30 of us in this little chat, and we do things together and we have events to get better, whatever. And it's called the Sis Collective. And that's what it's about. We're all in different brokerages, different offices, we're not all on the same, but when we need something, we pair each other up. Or, hey, I need this. Oh, I've got someone for you. And it is a smaller scale. What you're doing, you're taking that and you're raising that platform so that people who maybe don't have access to the resources or don't even know what they need or the right questions to ask, you're almost coming alongside and helping them formulate that needs assessment that we used to do. I was a teacher too. What's the needs assessment? What do I need? Right now I know what I need. How do I go get it? And just really helping people to put that together, which is empowering. And that is huge, just to know what you don't know and what you need to know and who that can help you get to what you need. Like that's like huge. I'm excited to see it unfold, and we'll look back at this and we'll do this again someday once it's like totally been off and thriving for a period of time. And you're like, miss popularity and everybody knows you if they don't already. If they don't already.
I don't even like that word.
Well, you're going to be.
But I know what you're talking
You're
about.
going to be, because it's not going to be about like the high school popularity. It's going to be about, look at what you're doing in the community, and people they're going to be attracted to that. They're going to love that. It's the new popularity, which is just people who are giving and kind and don't have their self-interest first, and who are just looking at, how can I give someone else a leg up? Because I'm here. And even if I may not feel like I'm the most successful person in the world because I'm still on my journey. Someone is always looking at you like you are the most successful person, and using that to help instead of, keeping that old mentality of, oh, I have to keep up, with the Joneses, and I have to not let anyone see too much, and I have to look more than just breaking down barriers. And more people can do that, it's going to be an amazing opportunity for more community. So
I think
I love
so.
it. I'm excited
I,
about
I,
you.
it's a push for me. It's a big plate, right? It sounds like a lot. Everyone's always asking me, what do you do? I'm like, you know what? I'm just doing the things. I'm just being who I am. The power is in authenticity. When you can literally meet people where they're at, no matter where you are, no matter where they are, the power when it comes together and connects lights a fire like nothing else. Absolutely. And I've seen it, and I saw it this weekend. I was at Jojo Dry's domestic violence on the Wings fundraising gala this weekend, and wow, that's all I gotta say is just wow. The presence and the people in the community coming together, joining forces, that was where it's at. Partnerships that were created that evening to help domestic survivors. That's how you help people, Holly.
Yeah.
That's how you help people.
Right.
The people help the people.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. When
And it's
everybody
possible.
grabs a shovel and shows up, the hole gets dug a lot faster.
It's like nothing else anyone's ever experienced.
I love it. And I think, and I know you were a donor for that too. So also want to mention, and I know we can find you on Facebook with your Gem Society. We talked about some other businesses that you have. You also have a printing company and some other things going on. If you want to talk about that, and also how are you managing everything and staying balanced and doing all the things? Because you got your hands in a bunch of different opportunities.
Well, I manage through understanding. I own a printing business. It's women owned. It's family focused. We have our kids involved. We have my brother-in-law helping with installations. It's a business, right? God gave me a business to use as a vessel to support the community. My husband also, he works a full-time job. So that's the income really that keeps the roof on the house. Sure. And us and food on the table. I wanted a business to help people, and I got that. God gave that to me, and now I'm creating the next step, and that's with the Gem Society. I balance it because I listen to my body. Yesterday, for example, I had some texts coming in, and I need this, what about this? I'm like, I'm not working today, but I will get to you tomorrow, or I will come out and say, I don't work on Saturdays. Saturdays are my day off. Sundays hit or miss. If I'm tired, I take a nap. Sure. My kids will see me take a nap and they will be like, Dad's like, I'm sleeping right now. Understanding, like everyone needs something, but I always come out and I'm like, even, we're always running behind, like even filming today. It's okay. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Like my day, my schedule, I make sure it's flexible and it fits me, right? And that might sound selfish, but it's not. That's my self-care. Right. I make time to take the dogs to the park because that's also my self-care. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy the sunshine. So I balance by listening to my body. Again, gut on demand. Whatever I'm feeling, if I want some ice cream, have some ice cream. If I stop overstressing because stress just causes sickness. It does. And don't you think as women, we almost feel like almost guilty if we do give ourselves that grace to notice and to pay attention and say, okay, I've been going nonstop and my cup is empty and I need to go back to my source. Like for me, it's like the Lord, right? I need to get in my prayer time, read my Bible. I need to do what fills me up so that I can turn around and pour that cup back out. Like we do, it's not selfish at all, because if you don't do that, if you don't refuel, you will run on empty, and that burnout is not where you want to be. Like you can't help anybody. That's why they always say on the plane, put your own mask on before helping other people, because if you pass out, you're not helping anyone. It's having that intuition to know and to just pay attention. Like you said, pay attention to what's going on. And you're like, okay,
I need a break. I need a nap. I had a Saturday like that a couple days ago. I legitimately did my workout. I got some work done on the computer. It was kind of an overcast day. So I recognized like my body was like, no, I'm not doing it. You're not going anywhere right now. So I didn't. And it was kind of like, cool. I'm like, all right. And now here
And
I
that's
am ready for the week.
empowering in itself.
Yes. And I'm ready for the week now. And the sun shines out. And I'm like, "Ooh, I can go play in the sun, get my walk in." Well, I can barely walk because that workout took me out. Honestly, didn't seem like it. Didn't seem like it. But like I was rubbing the CBD oil roller on the back of my legs. It like in bed, I woke up and I started doing it because I was in so much pain. It still hurt.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Overdid it. It's like
Can't walk or sit on the toilet, right?
I can't do anything right now. And as I
Working
was doing
out.
it, I'm like, oh, this is not that hard. It was a 30-minute on my Peloton at full body strength. And I'm like, this is easy. Oh, no, it was one of those sneak attacks. And I was like, But you know what? We have to take care of ourselves. And that's part of it.
But
You know,
even when we're
mind, body,
sore, we feel
spirit.
good.
Pardon me?
I said, when you're sore, you feel good though too, because you know you
You
put some
accomplished
effort in.
it. And it's sore where it needs to be sore. I'm like, that's the problem area. So we done did it, which is awesome. Which is awesome. So another question for you. Obviously, we've talked a lot. I know your heart, and I think that's coming across really clearly. Is there someone you could say either early on in life or through life, or maybe it's more than one person or maybe a group? I don't know. Anyone who influenced you in your life or an experience? Maybe it's more of an experiential, or was it a person that you kind of saw and you just thought, wow, like I want to be like that, or I want to, amplify that at some point in life.
Gosh. I don't know about I want to be like them because I never want to be like anyone else. I want to be me. That's another big motto that I use is be you. You are your own one true person. I like what people do, how they help people on their path.
Mhm.
I see that as a role model, and I take little pieces of that to kind of create again those spaces like Gem Society and how it can serve others. Or if I wanted to identify a person, I would have to say, I'm gonna get emotional here. My father. My father he passed away just over 19 years ago. He would always call every day. I would get a phone call, and it would be like, "Hey, do you need anything? Do you need anything?" Like I'm one of 5 children, but I've been fortunate. I met my husband at 16 years old, so we've been together for over 30 years, and we'll be celebrating our 24-year anniversary next month. And I was married, and God, my dad was always a giving person, right? I grew up. He demonstrated that role model for me. One, he was always calling, "What do I need? What do I need? What do I need?" And probably he's made me who I am today because that's how I act with all my sisters, right? What do you need? What do you need? He was a big part of the Knights of Columbus. I remember growing up at the Tootsie Roll Drive. While he was in the streets and the intersections, I was a child at the church collecting those donations, passing out those Tootsie Rolls, wearing the, I forget what you call them, like those mocks. And it was cool. I remember the feeling of how good it was to feel to give back. That community, I guess I didn't understand what community was or really helping people was back then. I was probably even like 10. But yeah, I would probably say my father and my husband, Larry. Meeting my husband used to pick me up from the bus stop. As cheesy as that is. But yeah, true story. He's always been a giver. His family has always had those morals, that support. He's always been patient with me because it takes a lot of patience. Like I said, like the past and growing out and up and onward from that, where I am today. Yeah. So I would say my father, my husband, and my mother as well. She's very supportive. She's always there cheering me on, and yeah. So I'm blessed in that sense.
That's amazing. It's nice to have role models growing up that exemplify those qualities. Even if you didn't understand it at first, it's almost like those seeds were planted. You saw your dad doing it and your husband. Isn't it great? Like a lot of times they say, like, girls will marry someone like their dad, which is always a good thing if you have a great dad, right? So that's awesome. What would you say, looking forward a bit now, where you're at now, if we're looking ahead, like let's say 5 years or so, what does that look like to you? Like, do you have a plan for where you'd like to see some of these things that you're doing? Like, where does what does that look like?
In about 5 years, I would say I would, well, sooner than that, but have a solid location for my talk show. I would love to have the starting stages, or maybe already in that stage, for my own education building, whether that's offerings for children, for adults, where they can come in and fill their brains with power and knowledge. In education, as you know, we are teachers, so we're given all those materials. Here, teach this, teach this. They have to do this. I remember being in high school learning about Romeo and Juliet, Shakespeare, and I don't even know who speaks thou, right? So my brain doesn't soak that information. So my goal is to one day partner, find these people again. When it happens, I'm not forcing it, to develop that curriculum. And if I don't do it, maybe somebody listening will. Maybe they have the means and more power. Go for it. Please do. Create that curriculum and adapt it to every person, human being, whatever that looks like that they want to learn about, and make it available, not at cost, not at crazy affordable prices, but let's make it learning adaptable, affordable, maybe free, like for everyone, and make it known and aware where people can go and get that education and be empowered. Children, like I said, myself in high school, but more so in our elementaries, my son was ADHD. I was a mom. I was lost. I was alone. My girlfriends, nobody spoke of their sons having ADHD or any problems. Today, we're learning to speak and say, oh, my son has ADHD. How are you getting help in the school? Who's serving you? Back then, I'm only 47, so I'm not that old, but I didn't have those resources. I didn't have those girlfriends. I was looked at as my kid was crazy. My kid didn't sit still in class. Okay, like that wasn't cool. That was a shitty feeling, excuse my language. But as a mom growing up, and this is where that's why I want to offer these support to women and the community, to let them know they're not alone. Because even gathering with my friends that didn't have these problems, I can tell you, I felt isolated and with a group of women. And maybe this is where that jealousy and all that stuff came from. I don't know. But I learned once I sat back and I watched other children play, other boys were just being active.
Right.
And it was okay. Nobody told me it was okay for my son to have ADHD. And nobody said, hey, have you heard of this help or this help? No, you were looked at as if you didn't have an arm or you were different.
Right.
But I'm okay with that. I love being unique. I don't want to be like anybody else. Nobody should be like anybody else. But we should have services in place for anyone and everybody at all walks of life. So I do want one day to have that education type building, facility, something. Not there yet. I vision it. It'll come, where if a child loves basketball, every curriculum piece, every standardized test that the state says they have to take is based on basketball. Their math is basketball, the science is basketball, the social studies is basketball, English, all of it. Why? Because we're living in a society today where we can do it. We have AI tools. We have all this knowledge everywhere. There's robots. There's everything is going on that so much people aren't even aware of, Holly. Like,
Yeah.
So it's possible. It's possible to serve every child equally, and every person, adult, no matter their ethnic, cultural background, color, nationality, whatever it is. Everyone deserves that piece of education. And that's one day I hope to provide something of the such.
I love that. And I think right now education is at the forefront. There's a lot of changes. There's a lot of more discussion with, like, even the Department of Education, being, they're trying to take it away. And there's the reasons for that. It's not because we don't want education, obviously, in our country, but we can see that the system does have some points that are broken. And it's hard. I mean, I've seen it from an educator perspective. I was a fifth grade teacher, and I have a really close friend who's at the top of the food chain in one of the main districts. And they work really hard, but there are some systemic things that have to change. And they really falls on us as people and parents. I think so many parents just want to send their kid to school and like you deal with them instead of the responsibility that really starts at home. Because if we could have that piece taken care of, and then we could look at teachers and say, okay, meeting kids where they're at, which is what the job entails, and really finding exactly what you're stating, like what makes these kids tick, because connection is the biggest thing, making real world connections. To make real world connections, they have to have an experience. They have to take their experience and match it to that real world connection. And then you can take it a step further and be like, okay, so that's why in social studies, when they were going through X, Y, and Z, you understand how it feels like when this happened to you. Imagine when this happened to them. And they're like, you were treated unfair in this situation. Okay, so that's the whole Boston Tea Party thing, fifth grade, right? Like they all felt like they were being treated unfairly by England, all these extra taxes, blah, blah, blah. Once you connect it, once they understand they just felt like they were being like treated unfairly. They were being taken advantage of. And they decided to do something about it, right? Then the kids get excited. That's what I hope that you can. And if like people listening would come together, and you can be that spokesperson for that, to say, this would be a great way to pull kids into that learning experience. Then more kids will enjoy school and want to go. And actually when more information seeps in faster, you can just keep growing and keep adding on to that. You know what I mean? Instead of working so hard for a year to get the same concepts to stick, because it's like you're throwing a ball against the wall and it's not going to stick unless you get a Velcro ball and a Velcro wall, and then it'll stick, right? Right. Get the right application to what you're trying to do. So I think that's amazing.
Learning, you hit the nail on the head there, by feeling. Learning by feelings and being able to connect a feeling with, like you said, the Boston Tea Party or events. That's where it's at right there. Learning by feeling and adapting and recognizing those feelings, because as we grew up, we weren't taught to recognize feelings, right?
Right.
And as a teacher today, the social emotional learning isn't just for children, it's for adults as well. And when you're open, when your mind cracks open, for myself personally, I didn't love to learn until maybe about 5 years ago, when I was like, oh, wow, this business stuff, like, and this people stuff, like learning about people and like, wow, what's going on over here in this community, and this, this nonprofit does what? Like, wow, people can get food here. They're giving away free food for families that can't afford it. Wow. These cracks started just coming in, and I wanted to learn more. Right. Then it's like, give me Google, give me all the information as much as I can find. The learning just happens naturally, authentically, and recognizing those feelings of, what do you like to do? Having that space, you don't like this going on. Well, what makes you feel that way? What do you think? What could help you? Asking people, again, meeting where they're at and saying, what do you think would have helped you in that situation? Like, what could you have used here? You need a connection here. Find the connection. People should be more like, hey, yeah, I got a connection. Listen, we got to get over the fact that, yeah, there's out there users and all that type of stuff, but it's going to be, right? But if we can live in more spaces that just offer that free connection, be like, hey, you need this, here you go, call this person. And that's community. That's a feeling that someone will never forget. They're like, whoa, thank you so much for opening that door for me. Because now once you walk through that door, you get to help somebody else.
Yes.
You meet someone else on your path that needs something, right? And now you're like, oh gosh, I'm here at this stage of my life, and whoa, you need what? Come on over here. Why? I don't want you to spend 2 years to get, for my talk show place, a building, why should I wait girl, I got this, I got that. Like, bring it in, right? Like, that's if we had more connection, more opportunities, instead of people just hiding it here or be like, I'm stern, I'm not giving out my information. Like,
Right.
what does that do? It does nothing.
Right.
It does nothing, people. It does nothing. Sharing really is caring.
Yeah. It is.
And it's not that difficult and it's free.
I'm reminded of that graphic that I saw, and I posted it on social media a while ago, and it said something to the effect of, what am I going to do when I reach the top, or when I reach like a top? And it has a hand down. It says, reach my hand down and help the next person, pull the next
You got
person
it.
up. Because that's how we continue. Nobody is an island. You talk to anybody, well, if you don't talk to these people, but when you listen to interviews, Tony Robbins, all the big names, all of these, Gary Vee, all of the guys and women were in the space. I'm sure Mel Robbins too. I haven't heard her talk about it, but I'm sure she would say nobody gets to the mountaintop experience alone. You can go so far by yourself, and then you kind of hit that ceiling. And I feel like every time I've ever hit a ceiling, somebody has shown up in my life. Probably, I would say a God experience. Like the Lord has put someone in my path to talk to me or to help me find a way around that and keep going, or break the barrier. And that's what we do with community. And I love that. And, I'd love to ask you one last question because you've given us a ton today. But if you had one piece of advice and you could only give one to someone, and they came to you and they might need 100 things, but if you could give them one piece of advice, what do you feel like would be the most helpful, or cause the most hope?
You are not alone.
Yep, that's good.
You're not alone.
That's good.
And you don't feel like you have to go at it alone. People will help you.
Yes, it is the worst feeling when you feel alone.
It
And
is.
there's a lot of growth in those experiences because if you realize no one's coming to save, if you have those no one's coming to save me moments, sometimes that's not horrible because it does trigger some things. And I feel like with your, if we had more time to talk about your whole backstory, probably you had some of those moments where you felt alone or you felt like, okay, I know I did. My whole backstory was no one's coming to save you, even though I have the Lord. I know I did. But in my mind, it was like, yes, but you also have to put some action in. You can't just sit and expect things to be, fall out of heaven for you. There is those moments of, if it's going to happen, I need to do it. And I need to, I need to push through. But when you truly do feel alone, that's a tough one. No one wants anyone to feel alone.
There were plenty of times, Holly, where, that alone feeling that is not so great. I've spent many hours in my bed depressed. You would never think of it looking at me. You would never think in my mind I wanted to drive on the other side of the road and just end it. But yeah, I am that girl. I have been to those dark places. Those dark places came because I felt that, God, life is just so difficult. Why can't it be easier?
Right.
Which again is why I started Gem Society, because it does not have to be difficult, because nobody is alone. And I don't want anybody to feel alone, because that is not a place of happiness or joy, because happiness and joy are two different feelings. And it sounds crazy, but I learned it wasn't until maybe about this is going to get crazier, Holly. I know we can go forever, but up until 3 years ago, I didn't even know what it felt like to love yourself. That's a whole nother feeling. Yeah. And that was just recent. Okay. So when I'm asked, like, how do I keep going and why is my heart so big? It's because I know it's possible, and I want people to feel that love for themselves because they're worthy of it and they're not alone. So if I could help more people I can help feeling that joy and feeling, that's what makes me who I am today.
Well, who you are today is absolutely magnificent, my friend. And it's been an absolute joy to spend this time with you. Thank you so much, Corene, for really,
Thank you.
for sharing your heart. That takes a lot for someone to really let the barriers down and share your heart so people can connect like that. That's where that true transformation really begins, and that relationship building. And I am absolutely positive that our listeners will want to know how they can reach you. So if you could please let us know, what's the best way to get in touch?
The best way to get in touch, you can email me direct. My name is Corene at gemhdsigns.com. I don't want to put my phone number out here, but for actually CoreneGemHDsigns.com. That's going to be the best way if you want to connect and make some change and move forward in this community and just create better spaces for people, and no matter age, just people, and connect with me. The more hands we have serving, the better place that we can have living. I do also, coming up, I am in the process right now. I'm hosting my first community Gem Society event that will be May 18th. And that is going to be very exciting, Holly. It's going to be at the Motown B&B in Detroit. A friend of mine is giving me this opportunity, and I am inviting, there's more to come. I have to put it out there, but it's going to be a place. It's going to be our first Gem Society Sisterhood celebration. And the Motown B&B is one of the top 10 places to stay in Michigan. It's rated the top 10 on Airbnb, which is huge. Every room is themed Motown, with a Motown song, with a Motown musician. It's got dancing room. It's amazing. It's electric. I can't wait. That's May 14th, and that'll be from 5 to 9 p.m. And what you can expect from that will be I just pampering skincare by Reman Skincare, which I just switched my skincare and I love it. It's only been 3 days and I think my face is looking pretty
You're
good.
glowing,
I
girl.
mean,
You're glowing.
I love it. It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. It's for healthy skin. Also, just champagne celebration. We're going to have dancing. I'm going to have a photographers to do some photo shoot sessions. So whether you're a woman in business, a woman in the community looking for connection, that night, that's what it's about celebration. So I'll have more coming out on that. You can follow me on Gem Society on Facebook. I'm working on a website page right now. My biggest to do, I am in the process of organizing the world's most heart-centered female leader conference. And that will be about this time next year, April next year, 26 in Florida at the Sunseekers Resort, which is owned by Allegiant Airlines. So I'm in the works right now organizing that. This conference we will gather husbands or partners will be invited. It's women focused, but we will gather in one space for unity, physically and virtually. It's going to be a high vibe collective leadership conference where we come together to be catalysts for change in communities across the globe. So I am currently seeking sponsors, and I'm seeking women leaders that are interested to hop on and help. It's going to be epic, and I'm so excited, again, just to spread that awareness and community, and that's exciting. So yeah, or you could find me on Facebook too, Corene Grillo, Corene, last name Grillo, Grillo. So those are the ways we can kind of connect. Watch out, because I got a lot
You're
going
moving
on.
and shaking, girl. There is no grass growing under your feet. And I'm absolutely, so you can check below, because below this episode we'll have all the different ways you can reach out to Corene. You can see what she's doing, stay in the know, watch her, because she's definitely somebody to watch. And we also want to just thank all of you for watching as well. Thanks for joining us. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like our episode. Tap that bell for notifications so you're always first to know when new episodes of the Onward and Upward podcast are posted. So we just want to let everybody know, please be blessed, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.